All right, we're live. My name, Alex Simon. Welcome into the American Leeds YouTube channel. Appreciate you tuning in. We are going to hopefully be in and out here pretty quickly tonight. It is 10:13 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States, early morning hours for you folks in the UK and Ireland, wherever you are, wherever you're listening, watching. Up the whites. Hopefully we can get 3 points today. It is match day. Exciting times. Exciting times. Let's start off with some, I guess, quotes, some stuff that came out today. Ethan Ampadu, I want to talk about him. He just had a nice little blurb about the upcoming match. And then Enzo Maresca, the Italian Pep Guardiola disciple, came out with a little nugget. You think the Daniel Farka press conferences are short? This man spoke for 9 minutes maybe today, in and out. Managers like this who are kind of dicks to the media, it works if you're winning games. If you're not, the media begins to turn on you pretty quickly. So you've got money in the bank to basically, it's very short answers. He's giving very short answers and just very annoyed at the media for even asking him a question. Obviously, he doesn't want to be there. He just wants to go to training. Unfortunately, part of the job, Enzo, is answering questions for the media. I just don't. He just bothers me. I don't know if I'd like him or if I wouldn't for my club. And it'll be interesting to see how he adapts if they do get promoted. Obviously, Burnley, another Pep disciple, isn't doing too well. I digress. Let's go to Ethan Ampadu first, and then we'll go to Enzo. And we'll go into some comments as well. The comments are my oxygen. So thank you, everybody that does comment. The goal of this channel is to have a chat about Leeds United, about the Mighty Whites. I treat this channel like my pub, like something I would walk into, like a coffee shop. And I want to talk about the Whites. I want to know what you guys think. That's what I just get off on. So, Ethan Ampadu, pre-Leicester City, talked a lot about, settling in with Joe Rodon. I think his hopes for the Welsh team. He talked about the kind of luxury to play for Daniel Farka and to play for one position because he's been switched around a lot in his career. But he also talked about Leicester City. This is the audio is courtesy BBC Radio Leeds.
We want to get there.
Massive game on Friday. Leicester not pulling any punches, are they? They're 13 wins out of 14 in the Championship so far this season. How do you prepare to face a team of that quality?
Yeah, I mean, I think you'd be silly if you didn't say they've had the best start. Credit where credit's due. They've had the best start. They've started very well. We know that they've got a very good team. It's going to be a tough game, but then also we know what we can do. We've been trying to put in performances and make us better and better each game. And I don't think that changed on Friday. It's a big game. Everyone around it's going to make it. Obviously, maybe one of the biggest games, but I think for us, it's about just focusing on 11v11, taking what the game does, trying to show and put our stamp on it.
And that win on Saturday must be the perfect platform to go into the game on Friday.
No, of course, like you said, it gives us momentum. It's a bit of momentum, a bit of confidence that we can try and take another step up in that game on Friday.
Look, they know it's a big game. The players know it's a big game. The coaches know it's a big game. But at the same time, mentally, they are dialed into the fact that it's 11v11. It's another opportunity to get 3 points. And he's going to carry that momentum into and down to Leicester City. This is what Enzo had to say on his press conference for Leicester City. Let's see if we can get that up. He was asked about Leeds being lethal in transition. Most of the press conference was about, I think, injury news, lineup news, player health. But he was asked about transition here. I don't know exactly where this audio ends, so we might roll with it.
Anyway, we know that they are good in transition. I don't think they are only good in transition. In general, they are a very good team. But with, Rutter, Piroe, Somerville, James at front, Nyonto, they are very quick, very good in transition. We need to be careful. And probably more than ever, it's a game that we need to give many passes before we attack, because as we always said, if we attack quick, they're going to attack us quick. And it's not the game that we are looking for.
I know it is game by game, but if you do win tomorrow, you could equal, Bristol City's record from 1905, winning 14 of your first 15 games in the second tier. I know it's early, but can you appreciate what a great start to the season it's been so far?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. We are happy. We appreciate. But as we already said, until 2 days ago, I always said we are in October. Now we are in November. So hopefully we can go October, November. They're always repeating the same until January, February, with the same amount of points of distance. But now, serious, we know that there are many games.
We'll end it there. It's another opportunity to earn 3. All the cliches. He basically goes on for another few minutes to just talk about some of the cliches about that's another opportunity to get 3 points, and that he continues this one game at a time, et cetera, et cetera. But the interesting thing that he said in there was we must have many passes before we attack. We know that they're lethal in transition, and basically, he didn't seem like he wanted it to be a basketball match, which was interesting to me. Look, I mean, if you know anything about Pep, they like to pass the ball. They like to have possession. They like to play. It's like times watching the Guardiola sides, it's like they're playing keep away. And you think it's possession without purpose, but there is purpose behind it. So that to me was a little bit interesting, that they might slow things down in their possession to attack, that they don't necessarily want to get into a basketball match, and they want to dominate possession. Daniel Farke's obviously come out and said, I want to possess the ball the whole game. That's would be my wish. This is kind of like a little bit of a Klopp versus Guardiola, but in the championship. Farke tactically, there's been so many, when he first came in, there were so many different analysis of what he does, but it might be a little Klopp-esque in terms of the counterattacking and the lethal front three that Klopp had. He still possesses, but he had a few years ago. And then obviously Enzo being a Guardiola disciple. It's going to be interesting. Self-scouting and what Enzo and Farke comes out in the press conferences, what they say might be the exact opposite of what actually happens. But it's going to be interesting to see what these two coaches do. And I think Farke comes out and is aggressive. I think he comes out and tries to snatch all 3 points. More pressure is probably on Leeds United. I think Leicester City is playing with house money here a little bit because of the gap that they currently have. Wanted to go to your comments here, if I can pull up the comments from the last video that was the content that was dropped on the channel. Martin, shout out to Martin Cook. Martin says, Alex, so happy to hear your preview. Stay safe if you can. Absolutely, Martin, one of my favorites, favorite folks on the channel. You're a gentleman, and I can tell you're a scholar. Ray LUFC says Leicester City at home, so they have to come out and attack. Our forwards will have space to hit them on the break. He says 2-1. That was my prediction as well, Ray. 2-1, and I thinking goals from Perot and Somerville late. I think that's who I was thinking of. Somerville to win it late. If we play to our strengths and put everyone in their right positions, we can take this 2-1. I don't care who scores. All leads, aren't we? Says Glenn. Paul C. Says, thanks, Alex. Enjoy your content. Keep the videos coming. One of the better LUFC YouTubers, in my opinion. Marching on together. Paul, everyone, I'm trying to do content. I appreciate you calling me a YouTuber. I'm trying to do more content on Spotify. I appreciate the audio format a lot more. So follow me there, I guess, number one. Number two, on the journey to 2,000. So subscribe if you're not subscribed. Would love to get the bar, get the pub to 2,000, if you could say. And then I'm just a bloke. I'm just a guy. I work 40 hours a week. To be honest with you, one of the reasons I can't really invest into this channel time is because, and that's probably why I don't want to monetize it, is because, and look, I don't know how much money you'd really make, but I commute an hour each day into work, an hour back. That's 5 hours. Sorry, that's 10 hours a week. 10 hours a week just commuting, and then 40 hours a month. That's where I'm at in my life. So I just don't have the time to do stuff except when it's late and it's in my car. But appreciate your kind words, Paul. Let me go back to some other comments here. Michael Pollard says, can we beat anyone in one game? That is what it might come down to if we can make the playoffs. No more Stoke or Southampton performances, says Michael Pollard. And no more selection mistakes by Daniel Farka. Leicester is the litmus test. Looking at Leicester, I was very bullish about the possibility of getting a result when I watched the Norwich City game. Watch the Norwich City game, or type in like Norwich City highlights EFL. Norwich City should have won that game against Leicester. I thought Leicester got very lucky. Obviously you don't luck your way, I guess, into this kind of start. I think they're obviously talented. But I don't think that they're invincible. I don't think they're the invincibles of the EFL. I mean, yet to be seen, but they've already lost one game, obviously. And I think they're going to lose another game. Do we have enough time to catch them? Probably not. And if they do win this game, you can probably nail it on for promotion if you can't already. Carl Bull says, Carl, blue jeans and chinos. Yeah, that is my style. I'm well. Who do I have? Apparently Rodon is fit. Yeah, that was the big thing to come out of the press conference, Carl. As you know, the Rodon was probably key. Somerville, obviously. I didn't really know that he had a knock. And Sam Byram is all set to go as they manage him. And hopefully Archie is ready to go. I would think he's good to go. So almost a fully fit squad, really. I mean, Carl continues, says, enjoy your content. Carl continues and says, one thing I'm worried about Friday is if we concede early. If we don't concede early, I believe we can win. Yeah, I think it is important, obviously, the first 20 minutes that we don't come out flat, right? That's when we've kind of, the heads do drop if we concede early. first 20 minutes of any match are important. There's something about this game because of it's so big. I do fancy us to have the energy to at least attempt to come back. Andy Wells says, need to start the game fast. If we don't concede early, I fancy us to win. MOT. Basically the same comment that Carl says back there. Charles John says 3-1 to the Whites. Love it. Leeds win. My gosh, could you imagine? Well, that would be a statement. Phil says, thanks for the video, Alex. I think most important about beating Leicester tomorrow is, of course, the points, but the potential doubt that it puts in Leicester minds going forward. Rodon is crucial to a win. Agree. Let's be positive and go for a 3-1 win, marching on together. I mean, obviously, we're all bullish. We back the boys. Yeah, we can set it on fire. You know, I was upset that we lost the second half of the Huddersfield game, but rewatching that game, it really did feel like Farke came out and said, let's manage this game. You know, Rodon had a lot of, miles on his legs with international breaks. He just sat down. You know, we put Cooper in. We subbed out some guys that just needed some rest, and we were on to Leicester City. There was a little bit of a look ahead there, and that is managing championship football. So credit Daniel Farke. I think, okay, so here's the keys to victory. This was the main title of the video. I wanted to these are my, I guess, offensive, defensive, or with the ball, without the ball, keys to victory. So, or at least my questions that if they're answered correctly, I think Leeds United will win. So first thing is, can Ampadu and Kamara bypass the midfield? Can they win the midfield battle? Because the midfield will probably at times be overloaded if Farke plays the 4-2-3-1, which he always does, specifically to start the game. I mean, he might switch it up later, but probably to start, it will be Ampadu and Kamara in the midfield, and either Ruter or Perrault dropping deep, maybe that sliding door kind of thing. It's very fluid, hopefully, up front. So can Ampadu and Kamara bypass the midfield? Can they win the old cliche, it's one in the midfield? Can they win the battle of midfield, Ampadu and Kamara? Can Archie cope with Mavididi? Archie is really been good this year in midfield. He's had a couple of games where I think he maybe didn't have his best, but didn't make a mistake. I mean, he didn't have his legs maybe in a couple of the games, but how's Archie, who's 17 years old, going to cope with a really, a really solid championship player, probably a Premier League level winger? Can Archie put in a shift against Mavididi? I think that's going to be a big. If Shackleton plays, it would not be as ideal. I think Shackleton will get, even though he's fast, will get kind of twisted up there. And then my last key to victory. So if they win the battle, if Archie copes with Mavididi, and if Meslier does not make mistakes at the back, specifically playing out from the back and just schoolboy errors, stuff like, like happened last week where he wasn't able to knock the ball away from goal or catch it. He's punching, if he's making too many punches and balls are falling in the box for second chances, things like that. If Meslier can kind of keep, Meslier's got to have a good game, right? Meslier's got to have a good game today. Meslier's got to have a good game today. Offensively with the ball, can Ruter continue his magic? If that's a yes, I think we've got a good chance to win. Can Somerville continue to pop up in big moments. And that's why I think he will be the one with the winning deciding goal tomorrow. There's something about Somerville. 2 goals that he had last year against Bournemouth and Liverpool. The games that he's just a big player. Some people call him greedy. Sometimes you want your footballers to be greedy. If Somerville pops up in big moments and executes, and then really Nanto off the bench, but really it's just Farka. How is Farka going to manage the substitutes today? That's one of my big questions. And if he can, make the right calls, get that right, that's really my 3. I don't know. I'm calling them defensive and offensive. Maybe there's 6 keys to victory. But I'll go through them again. Ampadu and Kamara in midfield. Can they win that battle? Archie coping with Mavadivi. Meslier not making schoolboy errors. Ruter continuing his magic. Somerville popping up in big moments. Nanto off the bench. And there's probably something I'm not even seeing. Maybe a Dan James worldy. Maybe, I don't know, a set piece goal. Maybe, oh my God, can you imagine Pascal hitting one in? I think there's going to be something unforeseen in this game. And then hopefully it's just a great advertisement for championship football, right? That's kind of my long and short of what today is going to be. I love Leeds. I love talking about Leeds United football. Smash the like. Hit the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are. Marching on together. Leeds. Come on, Whites. Let's get a win. Bye-bye.